This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. We're in New York City, at the temporary HQ of Dazn. Have I pronounced that right? Have I addressed that right?
HQ or Dazn?
No, like where we are.
We are in the temporary HQ, yeah. We're moving to a new office on the 1st of April at the World Trade Center.
Is that a joke?
No. 72nd floor.
You didn't get that then, did you? That went over your head.
Is that a joke? Well, I did go over my head, yeah. Sorry.
Alright, when you watch it back, someone will point it out.
Okay.
How are you, Joseph?
I'm good, how are you?
Very well. Rather eventful press conference today
It was, wasn't it?
to launch Anthony Joshua's US debut on the 1st of June
Yep.
at MSG.
Yep.
Yeah, big cue obviously to get Anthony Joshua over here finally.
Yeah, it's huge for us. It's something that we've been working with Eddie to deliver. We're excited about it. I think it's important for AJ's career that he does it. MSG is the natural place to do it. It's the mecca of boxing, and we're excited to be a part of it.
Did you think, with obviously Joshua heavily tipped to be fighting April 13th, it wasn't just a rumour by industry sources, it was actually a fixed date that kind of Matchroom had given out as Joshua's second part of the whole Wembley thing, but I don't suppose you assumed that he would be fighting in America so soon?
Not when that was announced, but look, lots of changes in boxing very quickly, and we're learning that as we go in the sport. AJ's preference, our preference, is obviously for him to fight Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury. It's a huge fight. Either of those fights will be huge. Neither of them can happen right now for different reasons. We're very happy that he's committed himself again to be his own fighter. He said himself today we're looking to build a long-term partnership together in both our interests. So those fights will happen down the line, I'm sure. It's in everyone's interest that they do. We're willing to make those happen, but right now we're really excited and focused on bringing AJ to the US, touring him around the US media, developing his brand here, developing his profile in this lucrative market, and we're very well placed to do that. He knows that, hence why we're working together.
With the announcement of Tyson Fury's co-promotional deal with ESPN, which kind of shocked everyone, I suppose a lot of people were thinking now we have the top 3 heavyweights in the world, all with different broadcasters. We're further away from kind of them fighting again. Obviously Fury and Wilder have already fought, but now there's kind of a question mark over their rematch coming up straight away. But from your perspective, I think someone actually asked you or Eddie this in the press conference today, do Fury and Wilder have to come on Dazn to fight Anthony Joshua, or not necessarily?
I think the devil's in the detail with that. I think that the 3 big heavyweights, the top 3 heavyweights, all being represented and housed by different broadcasters in the US means that broadcasters are going to have to work, and promoters across the aisle, as it were. So we'll have to go and speak to ESPN, we'll have to go and speak to Showtime, we'll have to go and speak to Fox, other instances about other fighters. We're willing to do that. We are willing to have those conversations and make the fights happen that fans want to see. It will be complicated, it will take time, but we're willing to play our part in that. It's worth pointing out that boxing it's such a unique problem to boxing. If you look at the Super Bowl, which is the biggest sporting event in the US, that's carried on a sort of rotating basis across 3 US networks, in NBC, CBS and Fox. I grew up, as I'm sure you did in the UK, watching the Champions League on 2 different channels and different content moving around week to week. So it's a unique problem to boxing that these sort of battle lines are drawn. We're willing to work over and above them. We're willing to go to those broadcasters and those promoters to try and make deals happen. We'll be creative and flexible in doing that. Probably a bit of give and take to make that happen. I don't think AJ's thinking about that right now. I think he's focused on June the 1st, but behind the scenes there'll be a lot of people, Eddie, myself, John Skipper included, who'll be working away to try and make those things happen down the line for sure.
I'm assuming that you would at some point like to make Anthony Joshua commit to Dazn over a longer period than just fight by fight.
Yeah, we would.
So is that in the plans to kind of...
AJ said himself today, both parties are keen to make a longer term deal, so we've shown our commitment to that in the deals we've done with other fighters, notably Canelo. So yeah, we're in talks to do that.
But until that's done, is that a concern of yours, that with kind of other options out there?
Not a concern of mine, no. I'm confident in our relationship with Anthony. He knows what we bring to the party. He knows our global reach. He knows that we are a very good partner. He sees that in day-to-day dealings with Eddie and with Matchroom, who obviously he's committed to. So I'm not worried about that now.
So, interviewing Adam Smith not too long ago, also Eddie Hearn, and trying to kind of get their feel for Dazn has been running now for what, 6 months with the boxing side of things.
Yeah. In the US, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Obviously, from Adam Smith's perspective, would there be a concern that there would be kind of a neglect on the UK shows, with emphasis going on building up kind of the Dazn US Matchroom market?
I mean, that's a question for Adam. I don't think so. I think the UK fans continue to be served by Eddie with some fantastic shows. Yes, he's got more shows now, more fights to fill. He's also got more fighters. He's also got more funds to do it. So I don't think that's something that the UK fans should be concerned of. Obviously, it'll be probably spoken about a bit more now that AJ is coming here to fight in the US. But I think fight fans in the UK should probably appreciate the service they've been given by Sky and by Eddie for the last few years. It's been a game-changing era in the sport. Speaking as a British fight fan myself, there can't be too many complaints, and I think that that's going to continue. I can't see that not continuing. Obviously, transparently, there is pressure from us and me and others in our business to make big fights happen in the US and to make fighters like Anthony Joshua come and make their US debuts. There's always going to be that consideration from our perspective because we're an American broadcaster. But I don't think Sky already would allow that to happen longer term. No.
Are Dazn satisfied with what Eddie Hearn and Matchroom have produced for them so far?
Yes, we're building a real momentum. I think at the moment, the last couple of months, I think have been a real step change since we. I think the back end of last year with the making of the Canelo Rocky fight really set in motion for us a big shift of momentum in terms of our sort of core business metrics, like our subscribers and our brand awareness. The fact we're attracting big name fighters to the platform, generally in longer term broadcast deals, multi-fight deals. The fact we're making our major fights with those fighters. You know, Canelo's a good example. He could have fought. There was a discussion in the industry that Canelo's deal with us would allow him to fight against a number of sort of low-level opponents. He's not doing that. He's fighting Daniel Jacobs, a Matchroom fighter. So Eddie's playing a significant role in delivering those fights, as are our friends at Golden Boy. And I'm feeling personally a lot more comfortable momentum-wise about how we're tracking. So we're in a pretty good place, I think, in our relationship with Matchroom.
Where are you in your negotiations to try and tempt Gennady Golovkin to Dazn?
I thought this interview was about Anthony Joshua and the start of his American journey.
It is. We've switched focus now. Where are you in your negotiations?
Nothing's changed from our perspective in relation to Gennady Golovkin. He's a smart guy. He's going through a process. I've got no comment on that today.
Are you confident you'll get him there?
I've got no comment on Gennady Golovkin today, KUGAN.
Okay.
We're here to talk about Anthony Joshua. And
no, we're not here to talk about anything specifically,
You haven't asked me one
Joe.
question about Miller yet, or the press conference.
Hold on, we're coming to that, but this is like, there's no set agenda for this interview, by the way, so you've no commented me for the first time.
I've no commented you on the Triple G thing yet.
Yeah. A lot of people obviously suggesting that this Miller fight was always going to happen. I even asked Jarrell Miller about it today, and I think if that was the case and it had been kind of planned from 2 or 3 months ago, I think Miller would have said that, and he said that wasn't the case. I think he said that when Joshua came here in December, there wasn't a fixed plan. Yes, he probably would have said, yeah, I'd love to come and fight, which he did say, I'd love to come and fight in Madison Square Garden at some point, but it wasn't like, right, it's nailed on from December. I think the plan was always to try and either Fury, Wilder or White. It didn't happen for whichever reasons, but it is Miller now, and roll on June the 1st.
Yeah, and you're right to say that. It wasn't always going to happen. It wasn't a something we organised months ago. It's been announced pretty quickly after it's been made. These things generally are. And look, it wasn't plan A, but it's definitely something that I think AJ is very much focused on. We're very much focused on it. I think you saw today it's going to be a hell of a promotion. I think Miller's a good talker. He's going to ruffle a few feathers along the way. But it's got the makings of a fight. I think that could be, well, it's going to be highly interesting to US fans. Obviously, AJ making his debut here. I think UK fans shouldn't ignore Big Baby Miller or look past him. I know that AJ's camp is definitely not doing that because he's a big unit. He's going to be hard to knock out, and it's an interesting matchup for AJ. I think very different to others potentially, but it's definitely a challenge and one he's not taking lightly.
So, in my interview with Eddie Hearn today, I asked him about speculated numbers on Dazn for the Joshua Povetkin fight, which
I hope he said no comment.
He didn't say no comment. What he did say was, in Eddie Hearn's words were, when the suggested figure to him of what was going around due to industry sources,
yeah,
that's even a term, he said absolute bollocks. So that's what Eddie Hearn said. But what he did say was quite interesting. He said that more people will watch Joshua Miller on Dazn than watched Wilder Fury 1. Is that accurate?
I'm very confident that we can do some serious numbers around Joshua Miller because I know how strong AJ's brand is. I know how we're tracking momentum-wise. I know the marketing machine we're building is getting stronger and stronger by the day. And I know that more and more fight fans and sports fans, sort of casual boxing fans, are becoming aware of ourselves and what we're bringing to the table. So I'm really confident in that. I'm not going to play games and looking at whether or not we're going to do bigger than a supposed number for a fight that's a few months ago. But I am very confident in everything that we're doing and the numbers we're seeing around all of our content now. We're tracking month to month, getting bigger and bigger and stronger and stronger. So I'm pretty confident that's going to continue into June. I think that our marketing activity and where we are talking with fight fans, how we're talking with them, how we're engaging with them is getting more and more sophisticated. I've talked to you about, probably bored you about our data capacity and the fact that we can far more accurately than traditional broadcasters understand our audiences, understand where they live, how we can talk to them, what they want, what they don't want, and we're able to adjust our marketing activity and our platform and our behaviours to suit them best, and we're doing that in lots of different ways week on week. So all of those points considered, I'm really confident that we're going to make significant strides come June the 1st. I also think the month from the start of May to the start of June for us is huge, right? So start of the summer will be a month or so, 6 weeks into our baseball season. We're launching a rights deal with the MLB, the Major League Baseball here in the US. Obviously not exactly target content for your audience, but it does bring about day-to-day content from a top-tier rights holder here in the US. That starting and that show getting moving, which for you it's a bit sort of like a Gillette Soccer Saturday meets Soccer AM with baseball, if that makes sense for the British audience. That will be moving. Canelo Jacobs on the 4th of May, which is I think fight of the year in my opinion, as of right now. That's May the 4th, Cinco de Mayo weekend in Las Vegas. Less than a month after that, you've got AJ Miller at MSG. So for American fight fans, we're offering just relentless value month on month, and we're hopeful of making a few more announcements for the back end of the summer before that next Canelo fight, which will likely be in September, mid-September. So we're aiming to pack out the summer months, and that will just, for us, just drive the value message and the regularity message compared to traditional sort of like rolling pay-per-views that just eat away at your wallet. So I'm really excited about making those announcements and building that schedule out.
Are you satisfied with the current subscriber base you have with the Zone?
We're where we want it to be. Okay,
that's encouraging.
Yeah, it is encouraging. It's encouraging. Makes my life slightly easier internally. But we're in a good place. We've launched a new business. It's overlooked sometimes how hard this thing is. You can. People say, "Oh, you're like Netflix." It's not like Netflix. You're live broadcasting content in high definition in a brand new technology. So the amount of work that goes into building those operational systems, acquiring the content, working with the promoters to market the content, it's a huge effort. So when you are managing a team of people like I do here, and you see sort of green shoots of success and decent numbers, you want to celebrate that, but we don't have the luxury of time to sort of sit around and pat ourselves on the back. We've got, as I said, a busy summer schedule. We've got a load more content starting. We've got more content deals to make. So yeah, we're encouraged, but we're not standing still.
A few cynical people.
There are a few.
There are a few. Kind of think, and I'm saying kind of think because I'm going to give you a rough version of this. But they kind of believe that eventually that Dazn will come to the UK, and then it will kind of put Sky Sports in a position that they don't really want to be in concerning the boxing. Obviously, they're involved in a lot of other sports, and boxing is just one of them. But there are a lot of people that believe that that will be the case at some point. Maybe not in the immediate future, but at some point, Dazn will launch in the UK, and it will probably create a bit of a headache for Sky Sports. Am I wrong in saying that, if that was the case?
I think Sky Sports are a grown-up business and they're used to dealing with competitors. If we were to enter the UK, we would be a competitor of Sky Sports, no doubt, in the sports in which we chose to play. We wouldn't come in immediately, I wouldn't think, into the UK, as and when we do and start competing for all rights. We'd be targeting what we did. But I think there's no immediate plans to launch in the UK. The Dazn business is focused right now globally on 2 major market launches in the next couple of months, in Brazil and in Spain. Personally speaking, I'm focused on driving the US and Canadian businesses, which is a full-time job. And there aren't any immediate plans to get the UK. We're a British business, that's coincidental. And as and when that happens, you know...
If it happens.
If and when it happens, thank you for correcting me. Those conversations will be had. But right now, the Dazn business is very much focused on the markets we're in and the markets we're definitely entering, which are Brazil and Spain in the next couple of months. There's a team in London who look at all our new markets. We don't comment on those publicly. Nothing much more to say about that at this point, to be honest.
Interesting. Okay, well listen.
It doesn't really affect your life because you're at all the Dazn shows personally, so you wouldn't be able to watch them anyway. You
True.
come to our press conferences, let alone our events.
I know. I've been to all the Dazn matchroom shows so far.
Are you going to Tijuana?
No, because I have Ggg Rumours at home.
Are you going to Turning Stone?
Don't know yet. I'm definitely going to Philadelphia.
That'll be a good show.
100%. I just don't know whether I'm going to Turning Stone for Bivol and Joe Smith yet.
That'd be a great fight.
Have to check the old coffers. You know what I mean? Joe, thank you very much for talking to.
Thanks for coming.
IFL TV. Can you just give your full title? So we should have done this at the start.
You like mocking my titles though?
No.
It's changed since last time.
Oh, it's changed. So this is an appropriate time to do it.
I am Joe Markowski. I am the Executive Vice President of Dazn North America.
What were you before?
Senior Vice President.
So now you're executive?
Yeah.
And what's above that?
Chief Revenue Officer.
Who currently holds that title?
James Rushton, my very good friend.
Big up, James.
Mentor.
Watch your back, James. That's a joke. Joe, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV.
KUGAN.
Pleasure to have you down today at Dazn, and
I hope you've enjoyed your visit to the temporary Dazn HQ.
Definitely, and we'll see you Monday for the press conference for Joshua Miller. Who knows what's going to happen?
And I'll send you an invoice for the internet.
Oh, thanks for letting me use your internet, and for the Diet Coke, and for the power. More specifically.
I hope you signed the loyalty box for the Diet Coke.
You've got M&Ms there as well, haven't you?
Yeah, have you signed for those as well?
No. They're going in my bag. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Ggg.